smoking on.
I got my smoking on.
Oh.
I just picked up, there is Edmundo. Edmundo Alvarez called me about 5 minutes ago. He hasn't been, he says, since we met in the Hotel Sheraton. That's a lot. I don't know.
That's a long time.
I don't know when we met in the Sheraton, but anyhow, it was the Hotel Bolivar, but the Sheraton.
Wow.
That's
Edmundo,
great. That's great.
Hi, hello.
Edmundo?
Yes, I'm here. Can you see me?
No, we
your
don't see
photo.
you yet. They're all very curious, huh?
Ah, yeah. Well, you know, I didn't cut my hair in like 100 days, so.
But it's still you.
Okay, well, let me see. We're right on time. Is that it?
Yeah, I think we are ready.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, all right.
Hi.
Well,
Hola Edmundo.
Hi.
Hola, Edmundo.
Hi,
Nice meeting you.
Edmundo.
how are you? Fine. Well,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lima Toastmasters, 3098U, Lima, Peru. And it's a pleasure to see you all here today. And I think we have some important visitors with us today too. That's very good, huh? Okay. Let me see now. How about introducing yourselves very briefly? Vikram, introduce yourself briefly to the new participants.
Okay, I should introduce myself.
Yes.
It'll be a pleasure.
Hi all, I am DTM Vikram from India. I am a member of
Whereabouts in India? Whereabouts in India?
Recent.
I am from a city called Hyderabad, the south of India, city called Hyderabad, and I am a member of two clubs. I am the current president of a corporate club and incoming president of the next of the community club, incoming president from July 1st.
Oh.
So member of two clubs and even the charter member, founder member of both the clubs. So I'm a member so far since the last 8 years. So happy to learn all these years. I'm learning from all of you. So it's great to be here in your meetings in the last 2 months. I'm loving your meetings. So glad to be here again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Vikram. We're very pleased to see you again. It's very good.
Influence made a lot of difference.
Who's talking?
Venkata involved ade. Venkata ganaka itla vastanadani teliste I would have shown
Somebody is talking. Would you please turn your phone off or
asal expect cheyaledu nenu. I have not at all expected.
Manny, are you talking to us?
Money?
Money is from India.
I love money. I love money. Mauricio Aspe, tell us about yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mauricio Aspe from Chile. I'm member of Toastmasters Meaning of Words from Santiago, Chile. I'm here to know a little more about your club and invite you, if you want some time to share with us. We have meetings on Tuesdays at 7:30. So if you want, you are all welcome.
Thank you. You reminded me, I was invited years ago to Santiago to the inauguration of the Toastmasters Club in English. Well, actually, it was a club that met 1 week in English and 1 week in Spanish. I don't know if that club still exists.
I think there is one club that share that characteristics. Our club is in Spanish, 3 sessions in Spanish and 1 in English.
That's
actually the next Tuesday. Our session will be in English.
Was your club the first club, Toastmasters Club in Santiago?
I'm not sure. I don't have too much time in the club.
Yeah, okay. Well, it could be the same club. I really had a wonderful experience at that time. Okay, let me see. Who else we have? Osmar Perez. Osmar, how are you? Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be in this meeting. I am from Peru. I am 25 years old, and a friend of mine Ruben invited me to join to this meeting, so
Ruben
I'm going
Garcia.
to. Yes, Ruben Garcia. Mhm.
It's coming in, Jim.
Yeah,
Yes, coming.
Ruben contacted me this morning, asked me for the contact, so he should be here pretty soon. Good.
He's there. He's there.
Is he? Is he? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, and let me see, who else do we have that should be introduced properly? There's Ruben. How are you, Ruben?
Hi, fine. Good to see you, everyone.
Hola,
I'm-
Rubén.
Hi.
Past president of Lima Toastmasters Club.
Sure, sure. It's been a long time, huh? It's been a long time.
The busy guy, the busy guy.
Yeah, sure.
Edmundo, how you doing?
Hi, hello. My name is
Introduce-
Edmundo Alvarez.
Introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you for inviting me. I used to be a member of Toastmasters as a junior participant, probably like many years ago when they used to meet at the Sheraton Hotel in Lima.
That's many.
The Sheraton Hotel, or was it the Bolivar Hotel? Where? At the Sheraton?
Yeah, I remember the Sheraton. It was like in 1990 or before that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm pretty old.
You surprised me.
Yes, but I've never been a member of the Toastmasters. I was like always like invited, you know, that we have these big meetings with large luncheons. And
yeah.
yes.
We don't have those large luncheons anymore.
Oh, okay.
We have Zoom sandwiches.
Yeah, okay. That can be better, you know, because trying to make up your mind and eat at the same time can be, you know, tricky.
I know it. Things have changed. Huh? That's for sure. Huh? Well, it's good to see you. I'm so pleased that you had an opportunity to join us today. That's great. Huh? Okay, Roxien Albertina. Where are you from, Roxien?
Hola, ¿cómo están todos, mi gente de Perú? Estoy muy contenta y muy orgullosa de poder estar aquí en vuestra reunión. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to salute the people from Peru first in Spanish. And I'm from Curacao.
Where?
From Curacao. I've been at Toastmasters since
Curacao.
2000. Yes, Curacao. I've been at Toastmasters since 2005. I'm a club sponsor, a club mentor, a district leader, train the trainer, former district leader in many roles, former division director. I've done so much up to now. I'm very proud to be a Toastmaster. I coach, guide, train, and mentor a lot of mentees from across the world. And I am a member in Curacao of the Zesty Toastmaster Club, but thanks to the pandemic, I am also now a member of the first club built by our founder, Dr. Ralph Smetley, which is the Smetley Charter 1 Toastmaster Club in California. So the pandemic has been an issue for a lot of us in a negative way, but for me, it has created positive challenges, which I really am enjoying. So thank you for having me in your meeting today. I am very honored and very pleased. And for the next meeting, I would like to have a role because I do love having roles during the meeting, you know? Proactive Toastmaster who always want to be easy. Toastmaster. God bless the one. God bless.
I'm glad we're socially distant.
Yes, me too. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. We're getting to know each other from across the world. This is something that we need to cherish. This is something for us. This is something very important because in the past, we couldn't have reached each other. Now we can reach each other. Now we can be part of each other's club. Now we can support each other from the distance. This is just wonderful. Let us enjoy it. And let us keep on holding Zoom meetings, even though we can continue with our person-to-person meetings.
Wonderful.
Back to you.
Good to have you with us. Okay. Akhilesh, how about you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I don't know whether it is good morning, good afternoon, but for us it's evening. So I'm from India.
Okay.
And I'm from Stagecoach Hyderabad Toastmasters, which is Wells Fargo chapter here in Hyderabad in India. So I came to know about this meeting from a friend of mine. So Vikram posts this meeting invites in our group. All the club meetings that happen across the world, Vikram posts the information to us, and we get a chance to meet different clubs across the world. And yeah, it's good to join the club, join this meeting, and I'm hoping to see great speeches now. Thank you.
Very good. Wonderful to have you with us. Thank you so much. Okay, anybody else that we haven't introduced yet? Priya?
Hi,
Hi, Priya. How are you?
I'm good. I hope you're able to see me and hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us
Yeah.
tell us where you're from and your Toastmaster experience.
Yeah, I'm from India, from Vision Toastmasters, and it's in Hyderabad. And I'm a Toastmaster since 2018. That's 2 years of journey. And
Do
yeah,
you know a fellow called Vikram Chantra?
yeah, I saw his text,
Really?
and that's how
Everybody knows this guy. I don't know what's going on. Okay.
it's his message which has brought all of us together. So yeah, he's the one who's sent a message, and we followed up.
Very good. Very good. Well, we're happy to have you with us.
I'm also very happy to be here.
Good. Wonderful. Okay. And now, who else do we have? Pragya?
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How you doing?
I'm good. And I'm really glad that you're the first person who's telling all the Indian names so correctly. You're pronouncing all of them so correctly. The thing is that I'm not a Toastmaster still, but yes, I have been on a journey across globe to attend almost all Toastmaster meetings that I can, at least once. And I was really excited to attend a meeting for a club which has covered almost 60 years. So out of that, I think for 15 years I have hoped to be a part of Toastmaster. So it's an amazing experience being here, and I'm looking forward to this meeting. Thank you so much.
Well, we're very, very happy to have you with us all the way to Lima, Peru. Most people don't know where Lima is, you know, and when I was in the university, somebody mentioned Lima, and I thought it was in the North Pole or something. I wasn't really sure, but I ended up here anyhow. Okay, now let's see, who else do we have with us today? Who hasn't been introduced? Akhilesh?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Marisol's with us again. Marisol, welcome
Yes.
back.
Hello, how are you? It's nice to be here once again.
Good to
I
see
really
you.
spend a lovely time every time here.
Oh, that's wonderful. We're so happy to see you and know that you're pleased with with our Toastmasters Club anyhow. Sakshi Baruka. Sakshi, are you with us? No? Okay, maybe a little later. How about Asmita?
Hello.
Asmita,
Hello,
how are
everyone.
you? I saw you for a second.
Yeah. Hello.
There you are. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, this is my, I think so, second meeting in the Toastmasters. So,
Where are you from?
I'm looking forward to from India.
From India. Okay, very good. Did you come as a result of Vikram?
No, from
No. Oh, good. We
as a result
finally
of
found.
Manikant.
Vikram doesn't know everybody. That's good. I'm glad. Well, where are you from in India?
I'm from Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh.
I see. Oh, okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Is it cold now or warm?
It's raining. It's rainy season.
It's rainy. Oh, it's the rainy season. Ah, yeah. Okay. Well, enjoy it. I hope it's not too strong. And we're very happy to have you with us today. Huh?
Thank you so much. Likewise.
Okay. Haripriya. How are you, Haripriya?
Hello everyone. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. Hope you all are doing well.
Yes.
So
Where are
I'm
you?
from
Where are you from?
Lima Toastmasters, Hyderabad, and I came to know about this meeting to Vikram because he posted it in a group.
Yeah.
So I'm here, and
But you haven't
yeah,
met Vikram yet, right?
I know him.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah, I'm in Toastmasters since a year.
Okay.
So I know him.
Good. Well, it's wonderful to have you with us. Welcome to Lima. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Lima Toastmasters. Okay, Udinor. Udinor, are you with us? Okay, we will move on. Well, we will have more opportunity, I am sure, to spend some more time and get to know our guests better. But at this time, it's really a pleasure to welcome you all to our Toastmasters meeting here, our weekly meeting. We meet every Thursday at 12:30 to 2:30 Lima time. That's Eastern Standard Time. And we have approximately, well, officially, we have 32 members of our club. And we're about to change our board of directors at the next meeting. We have our incoming president, Carlos Millones, with us. Carlos, how are you today, Carlos? Can't hear you, Carlos. Carlos?
Yeah, I was excited. I was only trying to say that I'm very happy to be here. And even though we have a very easy and very welcoming transition, we still keep the traditions and we remain dear and thankful for the living committee, which has made all these big Toastmasters 1398 U Club a big reality. And even more, we're gonna still share the benefits we have reaped over the last 60 years, and we'll be even a little more ambitious. We'll get to a higher level of excellence. Thank you, Mr. Plunkett. Thank you, because you embody the heart, you embody the feelings and the traditions of Toastmasters 1398 U Club. We are all really thankful to you and to your board. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Carlos, our future president, for those wonderful words of encouragement. And I hope I can live up to your expectations. Well, at this time, I would like to introduce, we have a very lovely Toastmaster with us today. She hasn't been a member that long, but in the short period of time that she has been with us, she has taken this club very seriously, despite the fact that she is a busy businesswoman. She has dedicated her time now for the last years to produce the most delicious bocaditos. We call them appetizers, and she caters to big organizations like the Central Reserve Bank and private parties and all kinds of events. She makes the pastries and little mini sandwiches, you name it. And we're so happy to have her with us because, you know, most of the time she's busy with her work, but now with the situation, we're very lucky to have her with us more often. So it's a pleasure for me to introduce this lovely lady who is going to be our Toastmaster today, Elsa Davila. Welcome, Elsa.
Thank you, Jim, for those beautiful words. Hello, everybody. I hope that everybody's okay today. And before beginning our meeting, I would like to share with you how I feel in this moment. My heart is so big in this last minute because I am very proud and very happy, and it's really an honor for me to be the Toastmaster of the day in this great and wonderful meeting. What I love of this meeting of this club is that we all work as a team, and we all learn from all of us. And I'm very aware of a phrase that says that the practice makes the master. And here I am in front of you, facing my fears, because I want to be a better member of the Toastmaster Club. I know that all of us are waiting to and have expectations of how is our meeting, who are our speakers, and we are going to have a great topic table too. So first of all, I'm going to present the Toastmasters that are going to work together with me in this meeting. And I'm going to call them, and they are going to explain the role that they have to develop today. So it's a pleasure for me to call the timer of the day, Paolo Carranza. Paolo Carranza, can you explain us your duty for today?
Sure, absolutely. My name is Paolo and I will be the timekeeper for the day. My main role is to let you guys know what your time is so that you can see it on the screen. I will be using some flashcards, and when it's green, you will still have time. Then you will have yellow, and then when it's red, it means you should be over. That's for us to know the importance of respecting our time, because if we respect our time, then we will show that respect to others, and we expect the same from them. That's a key part of Toastmasters culture.
Thank you, Paolo. I would like to call and present you the grammarian of the day, our dear James Plunkett. James?
There it is. Okay, fine. Well, thank you very much. It's my pleasure today to assume the role of the grammarian. And by the way, you know, we are going through some very difficult times, not only in Lima or Peru, but all over the world due to this corona crisis. So we have to be, ladies and gentlemen, like a good Toastmaster, very optimistic. That's the word of the day, optimistic. And I want to hear you use this word whenever you address the audience today. So don't forget, I want you to be very optimistic and be careful of your grammar because I'm listening to you. Okay.
Thank you, Jim. Now, I would like to present the counter of the day, Norca Muñoz. Norca, are you here with us?
Estoy agarrándola.
Well,
my role today is to count the words of sounds that obviously we are doing while speaking during the meeting. So be careful. I will take note about everything. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Norca. Now I have the pleasure to call our general evaluator, who is going to explain us his job today. John Navarro.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, good afternoon. The function of the general evaluator is essentially twofold. For one thing, the general evaluator provides help and feedback to the participants of the program, meaning the topic leader, the counter, the grammarian, and predominantly the evaluators themselves. Also, the general evaluator is to have an overall view of the session, a comprehensive view of the session. So, because everybody is in their specific function, right? So we need sort of a view from outside, from out of the box, to have the panoramic view and hopefully provide useful feedback at the end. Thus, to become better participants and a better club. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, John. Now, we're going to continue with our meeting, and and I'm going to present you our secretary, who is the Swedish man of the club, And he always delights us with his music when he plays the piano for us. And I have the pleasure to call to Mr. James Blanket.
Jim, your mic.
Just a little detail. Well, thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster, for that kind introduction. My piano is in the other room, so if you want to wait for a little while, I'll be glad to entertain you. Meanwhile, I'll give you a summary of last week's minutes. The meeting was held last Thursday, June 18th. We started at 12:30, and we had a total of 22 participants at the meeting, and quite a few different countries represented, including India, the United States, and we had the Bahamas and quite a few other countries. So we had a very mixed international gathering last week. Very good. The Vice President's reports, Carlos reported that we had a youth program that was advancing, which was very good. And we had 2 clubs, follow up on 2 new clubs, which is good. And we're working very closely with Rotary, Lima Rotary Club. And then we had Paolo came back with us, and he's been back just a short time, but he's already so active, and we're so glad to have him back with us. And today is our timekeeper. The new business, we had Ernesto Pai gave us an address to the new board of directors, which will be taking over next week. And Alexandra talked about the Club de la Juventud. So we've got a lot of activities coming up here. Our Toastmaster of the day was Doris Romero. And our topic leader was Ernesto Pai, who talked about the Peru crisis and employment. The word of the day was a little confusing because it wasn't really a word. It was an expression of both of us, which was quite confusing. But anyhow, we learn as we go along. And then we had 3 speakers. Carlos Millones gave us a very interesting speech last week, as well as Paolo Carranza and Norca Munoz. So we had 3 speakers. Our grammarian was Alexandra Kugler, and the best of the day last week, the best speaker was Carlos Millones. The best topic was our visitor, our international promoter, Dagmara, and the evaluator, the best evaluator was yours truly, that's me. The master evaluator last week, Ernesto Pai, said we had 3 wonderful speakers. We had a good topic session, which was quite active. And the word of the day was kind of complicated. But in general, we had a very good meeting. So those are basically the minutes of last week's meeting. Are there any additions or corrections? Actually, I should save that for the president's intervention. So those are the minutes of last week's meeting. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, dear Jim. Now, following with the program, we're about to start the first part of the meeting, which is the table topic. In the questions, we have to practice here the impromptu speaking. And today we have our master topic table to Bikram Chandra. He is from India, and he is the president of the Mahindra Toastmaster Club. And he is the president elected for this period of 2020 to 21 from Secunderabad, in the club Secunderabad, something like that, sorry.
Correct,
And
yeah.
okay, and he's a charter member of both clubs, and he's Toastmasters since 8 years ago. And he has the award of DTM, and he has received in April of this year. And Vikan Chandra is going to be the table topic master of the day. We can receive him with an applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster Elsa. It's been a pleasure to take up this role as a topic master today. And dear friends, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are across the globe. This helps members and guests to speak on the feet and deliver on the feet. And it gives a chance for the people to speak randomly at a topic given to you. So this session includes speakers to speak for 1 to 2 minutes, and the level for qualification is 1 minute. At the end of 1 minute, the timer will show green card, and the end of 1.5 minute, the timer will show yellow card, and at the end of 2 minutes, the red card will be shown. You have a grace period of 30 seconds. So this session helps one to build confidence skills and improve as a speaker. So friends, ladies and gentlemen, please take up the opportunity to speak. This platform of Toastmasters is to speak and to learn. So friends, are we ready? Good to go. In this session, I will give you topics from 2 categories. One, I'll show you an image. Based on the image shown, you need to speak on the topic given, right? In this image, you have certain characters. So you have to dive deep into the characters and deliver a message or a speech. That is one category. The second topic will be a general topic. So I will alternatively give the topics to you. One visual, second is general, third visual, fourth general. So it goes on alternatively. So friends, let us start this session and have a great meeting. So can I have a volunteer here? But before that, let me show you the image on which you have to speak, right? So I'm going to share my screen. Right. You can see on the screen?
No.
Yep, it's going to come.
Not yet, Vikram.
Okay, there's a cartoon character. The child.
Now we can see it.
Okay.
So the child says, "Do you believe in fate?" The tiger says, "You mean that our lives are predestined?" So the speaker needs to dive into the character of the child and what's next. Okay, you need to do the story. What will the child say now? All right. So who will be the first speaker?
Vikram, can you once explain again if you don't mind?
Right. You have certain characters on the screen from a comic book. The child says, as you can see on the board, "Do you believe in fate?" to the tiger. The tiger says, "Do you mean that our lives are predestined?" Now, what will the child say to this question from the tiger? You need to answer.
Okay.
Right? So, let me ask a volunteer. So, can I have Toastmaster Ruben? So, are you ready?
Right. Yes, I'm ready.
Shall I show the screen to you again?
Yeah, I do remember. I do remember the pictures. Okay.
Right. This is a picture, and you need to into the character of the child and say what he'll say next.
Okay. What I understand is about fate is the destiny, as it says. The child is very has a big question mark, which is for the tiger, no? And he said, "Do you believe in fate?" So the tiger jumps into the cart of the child and says, "It means that our life are predestined." It means that they encounter themselves in the future. That is something that might be unexpected, because the child didn't expect the tiger to jump into the cart he is in. So the message could be is that if you think too much about the fate, it's like you are going to be worried about what is going to happen or what is not going to happen. So, and sometimes it is only let things happen. Let things happen. It's not only to be concentrated of makes things to make things happen. So the things are just sometimes things come suddenly. Not always you are going to build your destiny. You are not going to build your destiny. It's something that I can understand from the pictures you have just shown us.
Thanks a lot, Ruben. Thank you. Thanks for well tried, well tried, well tried.
Thanks.
Topic will be a generalized one. So I will pick up Toastmaster Haripriya.
Okay. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, we can hear you. So the topic for you is, with great power comes great electricity bill. With great power comes great electricity bill. Toastmaster Haripriya.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Listening to this topic with great power, I thought he was about to say with great power comes a great responsibility, but he all of a sudden he twisted it to great electricity bill. Yes, I must say, being in India, not only in India, everywhere there's a lockdown right now. So our government has actually he just let out a 2 to 3 months of electricity bill to everyone. But all of a sudden, I saw that the electricity bill is huge up to the INR of 10,000 plus 14,000 plus for everyone. So we were quite surprised, and I guess it is almost calculated in US dollars, might be more than $70 to $80, but that is more for us. So here it's my brother and my father who pays the bill, not me. So obviously, so they have the power to rule the house, and that's the reason they have the responsibility to pay the electricity bill. So this is what I can relate right now as per the situation. Related to any other thing, yes, I don't have much to say about it, but I can just say power and electricity, I can relate it to physics, which I am zero about it. In school, I have no idea how did I score in science, but I'm much pretty good in English and as well in social studies, especially geography and history is my favorite subject. So I can relate to that. Physics, I don't even realize how that apple was falling down from that tree, related to that, and later on I came to that it is actually a gravity. So this is the thing I can say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Haripriya. So let me show you the next screen, which will be a visual image, and the speaker has to speak on the image. Ryan? So the next image is like this. The little kid says, I hope someday I am as smart as dad is. The mother says, why? What did he tell you now? So the speaker has to be like a kid and answer the mom. So what will the kid say to his mom now? So let me ask any speaker, can I have Toti, Toastmaster Toti, please?
Yes, hello, Bikram. Today, hello, do you hear me?
Very well, very well.
Yeah, today, Bikram, I am a speaker, and I would like to share with another Toastmasters to talk. Thank you.
Right, okay, fine. So let me have, so Edmundo. Edmundo? No? Okay, can we have Osmar? Toastmaster Osmar? Guest Osmar? Osmar, you're on mute.
Yes, hello, good morning or good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So you have to you have to dive into the kid's shoes and say what's next. The kid says, I hope someday I am as smart as dad is. The mom says, why? What did he tell you now? Now, what will you answer as a kid? What will be a response?
Yes, well, according to the picture, I can say that the kid, yes, the kid looks up his dad, yeah, because maybe his dad is a great person or is an intelligent, so he wants to be like his dad one day, and his mother says, what did he tell you now? Why? What did he tell you now? Well, I can say that the kid wants to be like his dad in short terms, right? Can you listen to me? Yes, can you listen to me? Did you listen to me?
Yes, very well. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah. Is it done? Are you done with the topic, Osmar?
I can't see the pictures.
Okay. Yes, Osmar.
Okay. Well, so as I said before, in short terms, I think that the boy looks up his dad. Oh yes, looks up to his dad because he says that one day he wants to be like his dad. So maybe his dad is the best person in the world, or maybe he admires his dad. And his mom says, "What did he tell you now?" His dad, maybe his dad is teaching him some teaching him good behaviors. Yes, that's why the kid says, or the kid admires his dad.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Osmar. Thank you. Thank you. Well tried. Well tried. Well tried. So you have to dive into the character's shoes and tell what's next. Okay, that's a motive of the cartoon characters. So next will be a general topic, and may I request Pragya to speak on it. The topic for Pragya is, guess Pragya, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, your voice is cracking.
Yes. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Okay. The topic
Is
for you
it
is,
possible? Sorry, is it possible that I can take a picture topic?
okay, I'll give you next. So
Yes.
next,
Thank you.
can I have Toastmaster Manikanta? Mani, please unmute yourself.
Yes, Vikram.
The topic for Mani is die with memories, not dreams. Die with memories, not dreams. Toastmaster Mani.
So greetings of the day, everyone. So my first international meeting. I'm so excited to be part of this meeting, and I'm looking to your 60th anniversary celebration as well. And coming to the topic, die with memories, not with dreams. They say that every dream that you have should be achieved with the kind of efforts that you put in. So I would say that whatever little dreams you have to break it down into steps, and you achieve it and you make it a memory, than just keeping the dream alive and then dying. So the ultimate point comes to this particular thing that whenever you have some dream, you should always try to achieve it, no matter what obstacles you have, you get in, what challenges you have to overcome, because at the end of the day, we will remember the memories that we create when we are ultimately thinking about those achievements that we have achieved some time back. So I very well agree with the topic, Vikram, that we should have memories but not dreams when we die. So over to you, Vikram.
Thank you, Mani. Thank you, Mani. So the next topic will go to Pragya, who wanted a picture image to be shown. Pragya, this is the topic.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So you have to dive into the kid's shoes and say what will be say what he'll say next. The kid says, "What grade did you get?" His friend says, "I got an A grade." Then the friend says, "Why on earth would you rather get a C grade than an A grade?" So what will you as a kid respond? What will you as a kid respond next?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Great. So, hello, Toastmasters guests and my dear friends. As a kid, I got a C because I was focusing more on learning rather than getting marks. You got an A because you can mug up everything, but I really can't. And how on earth does it even matter whether I got a C and you got an A? I know much more than what you do. You can test it. I will ask you a question on that subject, and I bet you will not have the answers to all the questions over here. You say that getting an A is important? I don't agree. My parents always tell me that you should focus on learning. You should focus on knowledge and not on marks. And that's why you keep mugging up everything every single day and don't look into the actual opportunities of learning from things. Whereas I have focused on that for the whole year. That is why my grade is C, but my knowledge is A. Now, you can see the other subject. I have got an A in that because that was a practical subject. And this was just theory for me. So I don't focus on just knowing the answers and not applying them into practical. When I pass from this school, I bet you I will get a better college or a school than you do. So if you want to really learn, learn my way. Leave your marks. Don't focus on marks. Focus on learning. Then you will maybe know something closer to what I know. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, guest Pragya. Excellent. Well tried. Well tried. So the next topic will be a general topic, and may I request Mary to speak on the topic? Mary, are you there? Mary Rodriguez,
Hello.
are you there?
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we can hear you, but there's a little disturbance in the voice.
Oh, I'm gonna try to do it in spite of that. Okay.
We can't hear you, Mary. There's a break in the voice.
Can I try it later?
There's a break in the voice. Your voice is blurring.
Vikram, I think she's
Voice is not
asking
clear.
she wants to try next, Vikram.
Fine. So can I have Mauricio?
Hi, Vikram.
Hi, Mauricio.
What's the question?
The question for you is, what makes you you? What makes you you, Mauricio?
Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello again. Well, I'm Mauricio. I'm from Chile, and I'm a doctor. So my first insight to answer that question is I'm the perfect mixture between my dad and my mother. And thinking about the first picture, dude, that you showed to us, probably my mother could ask me the same question if I talk about my father. I'm the perfect mixture between this clever guy and this suspicious woman. About that, I'm 100% Chilean, so I know Peruvian guys maybe think Chileans are not the best. I will try to change that way of view. So I'm simply a guy trying to improve myself and bring all the things that my parents teach me and I'm learning now. I'm simply another Chilean guy that enjoy to share time with another Toastmasters around the world. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mauricio. Well tried, well tried, well tried. So, Mary, you want to try next on the cartoon characters? We are not able to hear Mary. So, can I have DTM Roxine? Roxine, spell your name correctly. DTM Roxine.
Yes, yes.
Right. Can you try out the next topic, please?
Which topic?
I'll show you the image.
Okay.
So DTM Roxine, the image for you is as follows. The tiger says, I love fall, right? So what will your response as a kid? You have to be the kid and respond to the tiger. What will you say now? What will you say now, DTM Roxine?
Table topic master. Well, my dear tiger, maybe you love fall, but I enjoy the summer. I don't know your meaning of loving the fall. With all those leaves falling from the trees, I find that messy. Do you know how much you can enjoy when it is summer? You can go to the beaches. You can just enjoy the sun more. Have family around you. Now that we can go outside, because being inside so long because of the pandemic, you should more enjoy the summer. There's where I can play in the sand and you do those stuff, you know, diving, all those lovely things, and feel free. And with so many people around, because everybody enjoy the beaches. That is why I prefer loving the summer. But I do respect your point of view, because that is what Toastmaster teaches us. Respect each other's opinion. And I can agree with you. You have your feelings and your desire for fall. But I would love for you to respect my opinion about loving the summer, because I feel that when it's summer, I can do much more. But it's okay. Let us enjoy the fall with you. And I just want to invite you to join the summer with me. What do you think about that, Mr. Tiger? You know, it's like complimenting each other, being friends to one another, and most of all, enjoying life and sharing love with each other. Oh, Mr. Tiger, it's so wonderful to talk with you about what you love. Table topic master.
Thank you. Really enjoyed your topic. Thank you, Roxane. Enjoyed. So the next topic will be general topic, and let me ask guest James Plunkett. Right, James Plunkett Jr. So the topic for you, James, is knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, James Plunkett Jr.
Yes, the guest, you mean, right? Okay, Mr. Table Topics Master, thank you very much for allowing me into the meeting. And good afternoon to all of the Toastmasters attending this meeting. Yes, knowledge is power indeed. We have to be very careful with that knowledge. We have to be very careful with that power. Knowledge can lead to great power over oneself and great power over others. Power to do good things, influence people the right way, as well as power to influence them the wrong way, to have oppressive power over them. Knowledge and power are joined by responsibility. That responsibility to learn the good stuff and share it with others. That gives you great power. That would be different if you use that knowledge just to be selfish and controlling. That would be the wrong use of power. So, Mr. Table Topics Master, I think indeed, and I believe it, knowledge is power. You just have to be responsible and use it to make other people's lives better. And that will mean that your life will be much richer. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Thank you. So, can I have Toastmasters Soledad participate in this topic now, the visual topic? Soledad? Toastmasters Soledad?
Soledad.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Soledad, I'll show you the picture. You have to dive into the character and tell what's next, right?
Okay.
So the picture for you is this one. The boy says to the plant, "It's up to me to decide if you get water or not. I control your fate. Your very lives are in my hands." Now, Soledad, please tell what's next as a plant. Dive in as a plant and tell what's next. What you're going to tell as a plant to the boy.
You are wrong. You are wrong, little kid. You don't know me. I belong to nature. The Mother Nature feeds me. And if I need more water to grow up, somebody else is going to give it to me because I see in your heart there are not good feelings. We are both living beings. We are both living in the same planet. Why don't you learn from me as I can learn from you, but good things? You are not controlling my fate. My fate depends on Mother Nature, who gave me life, and my colors, and my seeds. I'm going to reproduce myself in several other places. I have to disappear from Earth someday. Some other plants are going to grow and be in light in this area. Have a good feeling toward us. You are not going to be a good man when you grow up. Be careful. Think about it. You are not in control of anything. You are just a kid. You cannot control even your own life. That's what I have to say. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Well done. Well done. Well done. Excellent. So can I have the guest Yashwant? Yashwant?
Hi Vikram. Hi Vikram. How are you? Sorry Vikram, you're on mute.
Vikram, we have finished the topic session.
Okay.
Yes, I think
Fine.
The time is up. Time is up.
Right.
Probably I will
Fine.
take time next time, next meeting.
Sure. Thanks. So thanks a lot, everyone. So thanks for your time and speaking out in table talk session. It was a great session and we all enjoyed thoroughly. So back to you, Toastmaster Elsa.
Thank you, Vikram. We had a great Toastmaster session. And now, following with the meeting, I think we're not going to have time we're going to continue. Now we are going to start the second part of the meeting, in which we're going to have three speakers that has prepared their speech in advance. And I'm going to call, each speaker is going to have an evaluator. I'm going to call each evaluator, and the evaluator is going to present the speaker and all the title of the speech and everything that is concerned with that speaker. So I have the pleasure to call to a person that is our elected president for this year, and is a person that he is always motivating us to move forward and to give the best of each one of us. I have the pleasure to call to Carlos Millones, that he is the first evaluator, and he is going to evaluate to Alessandra. Carlos? Carlos Millones?
Yes, right. Thank you so much, Elsa. I do thank you, but let's see, our first speaker is going to work on the visionary communication pathways. She's going to work on project number 1, on level 1, and the purpose of this speech is to identify her primary leadership style or styles. And second purpose is to share some aspects of her primary leadership style or styles in general. But who our speaker is today? Well, Alexandra Kugler is our newly elected Vice President of Public Relations. And she's Peruvian, mostly dedicated to promote natural and cultural resources for tourism. She's also the Vice President of the Peruvian Society of Facilitations, APF. From 5 to 7 minutes, the title of her speech is Short and Long-Term Goals. Please help us welcome Alexandra Kugler.
Alessandra, are you there?
Good afternoon, Madam Toastmaster. It's a pleasure to be here. Dear fellow Toastmaster, dear guests, thank you very much. Pathway is taking us to the most terrible challenge. I have been learning from Pathways these days, and I understand more and more about leadership. And this project tells me about tourism, has inspired me to talk about tourism. My career started with tourism, but the tourism times in the 1980s was terrible, exactly like now. It was almost off. And now we have to challenge tourism again. As you know, languages were my strong alternative, so I had to change my vision and forget about tourism for a decade. It was terrible, so I dedicated to translations. And as Carlos told you, I was always promoting tourism through cultural activities or natural exploration for ecotourism. And I loved it because it was like nice. The first occasion I had to show my leadership was when I went to the Bosque Olivar in San Isidro. It's an olive garden planted in the Spaniards' colonization times. And it's in a very nice place in middle of Lima city. It's a very interesting path because it's like a green park with olive trees. And when I had the occasion to visit that in the 80s, many olive trees were not there anymore. And we were having a nice ecotourism walk through the garden, and I could detect small baby olive trees in the branches, in the roots. And I met the mayor of San Isidro. Those days was Carlos Neuhaus, the father. And Carlos Neuhaus told me, and what do you think we can do? And I said, why don't we plant those small babies in the holes that are empty so we can have the Bosque Olivar living up to it. And this occasion was interesting because I had never had the occasion to speak to a mayor, a local government, and he had never spoken to an environmentalist in tourism. So he told his wife, we need to do something. And then I learned more about my leadership skills because Pathways is taking me through the awareness of my own leadership. And I was a shy woman, but I love nature. And the wife of the mayor was la dama, el comité de damas. That's a very important challenge for all the ladies in the district. And then we organized an olive for peace. And as you know, tourism was totally disrupted by terrorism. So we made this plantation for peace through tourism, and all these baby plants really got alive, and the park was nicer and people felt more optimistic, and that was a very nice challenge. So then as years passed, tourism became better, and I had the challenge and some occasions to work with tourism and languages and environment. And so these decades have been nice, a very, how you call it, open-minded projects have been working for tourism these last decades, but there has not been enough integrity and not enough democracy in the decision-making. So this time, I think Toastmaster will give me more tools to be a leader and to work with tourism in a new way, because now tourism is absolutely sleeping. There's no commercial aviation. We have to rethink about tourism. And I guess that these trainings that the robot of Pathways is giving me is amazing. The robot made me some questions, and then the robot of Pathways told me I had 25% of my energy in democratic leadership, 22% in altruistic leadership, 20% in innovative leadership, and then 5 more styles of leadership. I have chosen the 3 first because those could be my strength, and the rest will be styles I would like to cultivate more, like affiliative coaching and pace setting. But in this occasion, for this speech, I would love to tell you it is very interesting to work with short-term and long-term projects in tourism. And when you are democratic in your leadership, you will have to choose long-term projects because small businesses require immediate decision-making to make money, and you cannot invest too much patience in democratic growth for small tourism projects. So I will have to share with both long-term and short-term planning for tourism in my future career and how to deal with all this. So as you remember, I would like to read something about love for trees. As in my icebreaker, I talked about love for trees. I found a leader in the website, and he wrote, if you are thinking a year ahead, sow a seed. If you are thinking 10 years ahead, plant a tree. If you are thinking 100 years ahead,
educate the people. By sowing the seed, you will harvest once. By planting a tree, you will harvest tenfold. By educating people, you will harvest 100-fold. Thank you very much. Mrs. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Alexandra. I really love the story about the trees. It's great.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
continue with the program. I would like to present our second evaluator, who is going to present the second speaker. And the second evaluator is our dear musician and our dear friend, James Blanket. James?
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Well, today I have the pleasure and the honor of being able to evaluate a relatively new member of our club who has been with us now for about almost 2 years. And in that period of time, she has been very enthusiastic. She's assumed a lot of responsibilities, and she has a very interesting history. She was born in Lima, and then, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to say anything to you because this is her icebreaker speech. And in the icebreaker speech, she is supposed to tell us about who she is. So I have no right to be giving any advance on the mystery of this wonderful life of this lady. So it's a pleasure for me to introduce to you today Doris Romero, who will tell you about herself.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Plunkett. Well, I will ask you to cross the, cross the bridge. It's a kind of bridge. Come with me and you will see that the first place is Juliaca. Juliaca is the place when I was born. It is near Lake Titicaca, and it is very close to the highest navigable lake in the world, and the largest in South America. The second place we will see is Lima here, the place where I finished my school studies. Then I was thinking, what is next, as everybody. And I was thinking, what can I do after school? As you know, as a Catholic, I know that the Bible says that the Lord has created and given us all a purpose. And I was asking myself, what is my purpose? Well, the thing is that I decided that to help to help people, I should be a doctor. And I applied to the university and failed. Sadly, but with my parents' support, I decided to on a short career. It was to be or to study for administrative secretary. Well, I was studying, but with not much pleasure. But when on the course of this study, I was looking that I like writing, typing, shorthand, and I finished and I worked for a little while. So then I applied for the University San Marcos, the oldest university in South America, and I went to the Faculty of Linguistics. I was excited to know more about languages, anthropology, people around the world, and something was inside me. I wanted to know more and more. And then something changed. And I crossed not the lake, but the ocean. I took the opportunity to travel and see Moscow's Red Square, the Kremlin. I didn't go to, I was not on vacation, but to study on a scholarship at Lomonosov University to study Russian language. And then I went to translation faculty of the Linguistic University of Moscow. I succeed. I wanted to have some practice and was looking and searching where I can pass this practice. I wanted as a translator interpreter, but you know, I could find but as a secretary in the commercial office of the Peruvian embassy in Moscow. It was a really interesting work because I could combine supporting Peruvian and Russian businessmen with this job. Later, I applied for my master's degree at the Pushkin Institute. And then again, after it, looking for a job, I could find at the Peruvian consulate in Moscow, again as a secretary. Life was going on. I got married. My daughter was born. My husband and I decided that it was time to come back to Lima to share the time with my parents. You know, I was 20 years far from Peru. And then here I am in Lima as a translator, interpreter, sometimes translating documents or interpreting simple directions of what to do, where to go, as it was in the Lima Grand Prix 2019 of weightlifting world championship, or going to a hospital, or sometimes signing a cooperation agreement between the Zoo of Moscow or our Wesley Lima Legend Park, or possibly taking part in the signing of intergovernmental agreements between Peru and Russia, or participating in APEC. Here I am, one of many interpreters in the world, but here in Peru, I am one of 2 Russian interpreters. That is what I am doing. Now, last but not least, at Lima Toastmaster Club 3098, I was asked to support the new board. Can you guess what position? Yes, secretary. As secretary, of course. Thank you, dear fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Doris, for sharing your beautiful story about your life. It was very interesting. Thank you. Now, continue with the program. I have the pleasure to present our 3rd evaluator, who is going to present to the 3rd speaker. And he has been a Toastmaster since 2006. He has achieved the Advanced Leadership Silver. He is applying for Advanced Communicator Gold, and he is a passionate of innovation, art, and golf. Also, he is a successful entrepreneur. He is board member of Pacific Edelman's affiliate in Peru. He is working in a project to continue the digital transformation for Lima Toastmaster. And he also is the man who told us last week the phrase, if the world gives you lemons, prepare lemon pie. I have the pleasure to call to Ernesto Pai.
My lemon pies are not so good as your alfajores, you know, and today I have the privilege to introduce a lady that hosts every year our weekly or our beach party. This year, because of this pandemia, Toti, are you there? Can you open your microphone, please? And Toti has a beautiful house in the beach, and we have wonderful parties with Jim's music, and we sing and we enjoy. And there's a wonderful restaurant where we have very good fish. And today, Toti is going to speak about a very interesting topic. The topic is called the cradle of civilization. And this is part of the project of the old book, the Speaking to Inform manual. And it's very interesting because it's part of the advanced series. And the objectives of these projects is to select new and useful information for presentation to the audience. Organize the information for easy understandability and retention, and present the information in a way that will help motivate the audience to learn. For 5 to 7 minutes, our dear Toti Sassali.
Hello, dear Toastmasters from abroad, overseas, and from Peru. Today, I want you to show that during the quarantine, during this pandemic times, we can get something positive. And today, I think my topic of my speech is about something positive that happens to me. First of all, I want to tell you that my grandson Noah, that is 11 years old, he's staying with me, he's living with me during this period. He's very nice, a very nice kid, very obedient. But during the afternoons, I have to help him in his English homework. At the beginning, it was very boring, I tell you. But afterwards, during one of his classes, I realized that I am also learning again, as if I were in school. So today I'm going to talk about something that is very interesting and that perhaps you have forgotten, as it happens to me. First of all, I want to put you in the time, to place in the time where the first manifestation of human beings appeared in the world. It was among 3 to 6 million years that the first men appeared in the world. And this human being was from Africa. So you have now the idea how much time do we have in this earth. Well, it was until the year 4500 to 1900 BC, it was in the early Bronze period, that a group of nomads settled in a region called Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia was between these lands were between the Tigris and the Euphrates River in the Western Asia. Now it is called Iraq. These people were called the Sumerians or the Summers. They were very intelligent, very smart, and they were gifted because they have a lot of water, they have very good weather, and they have a very productive soil. So they started to to have a lot of products, crops, many kinds and different crops. And there then started the agriculture, the first manifestation of agriculture, intelligent agriculture, organized agriculture, was from the Sumerians. And they constructed also water channels, dikes, and reservoirs. When they had a lot, too many products, and over, quantity of products, so they thought we have to sell these products. And they went to another communities far and close to them, and they thought, how do we get there? And they invented the wheel. And from this time, the commerce started. They were experts in astronomy. They left to look the sky, and they discovered the zodiac that they invented by the constellations, the zodiac that we have today. They also they measured the time. They started measuring the time, and they studied and decided that the year would have 360 days, the week 7 days. And so they started measuring the time, something that had never happened before. And something very important, they invented something that was very, very important for human heritage. That was the writing. And they had the cuneiform writing. They used blocks made of clay and mud. And there, with a sharpened device, they coined symbols that represented the daily life they live. They have also temples, they have palaces, very well constructed according to the figures I saw. And they have 4 important cities that were called Uruk, Lagash, and Babylon. As they were so powerful during some time, they were very powerful, they started the wars, because before people were very calm. But they decided to have wars because of this powerful, this desire to have more. In the year 2370, they were conquered by the Arcadians, and afterwards by the Assyrians, and afterwards by the Persians, and then I think the Sumerian culture more or less disappeared. They had a saying that we always use, that is an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. This saying belongs to the Sumerians. I think they were very important because their discoveries were a heritage for humans until today. So it has been for me very, very interesting to study a bit about these people, and I enjoyed so much that I think that this quarantine was not so hard, was positive, because since now on I will investigate about other cultures, about about other ways of living, and I will continue to give in this kind of speech for your information, and I hope you enjoy this speech. Mrs. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toti. I really enjoyed your speech, and I have learned a lot from it. Thank you. Now, we are about to start our third part of the meeting. This is the last part of the meeting when we have to make the reports of the evaluations and the reports of the Toastmaster members that has a duty in this meeting. I would like to call to our timer to Paolo Carranza to make the report of the time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Oh, ma'am Toastmaster. I'm gonna start with the table topics just very briefly. Ruben spoke for 1 minute. Haripriya 1 minute 45 seconds. Edmundo 3 minutes. Manikanta 1 minute. Pragya 1:45. Mauricio 1:30. Roxien 1:50. James Jr. 1:10. Soledad 1:30. And Josh 1:30. Now let's go with the speakers. For the speakers, we have the time allotted for Alexandra was 7 minutes. I do apologize because my computer was not working at that time. She went over for 1 minute, so she ended up with 8 minutes, but it just appeared green on my screen. So I'm sorry for that. For the second speaker, Doris, 4 to 6 minutes was the time allotted, and she made it in 6 minutes. It was exact, so congratulations on that part. For the third speaker, Toti had 5 to 7 minutes assigned, and she went over for 1 minute 20 seconds, so her time is 8:20. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, ma'am Toastmaster.
Thank you, Paolo. Now I would like to call to Norca Muñoz to give us the report as a counter. Norca?
Thank you, Mrs. Toastmasters. So, the sounds that I have heard sounds like but, the, or, this, to, and some people use pauses, excessive pauses. So the report that I have is Alexandra has two sounds like a and but she has to look for the poses that she does. Doris, she did 17 sounds, unnecessary sounds. The most of them was and then. Toti, you did 24. Sounds like most of the cases and that's it. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Norca. Thank you. Now I would like to call to our grammarian, Mr. Jim Plunkett, to give your report.
Yeah, papi.
Jim?
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. I picked up some interesting things today. For example, we're talking about Vikram had accomplished his DTM. He said that he has received it. Well, it would be better to say he earned his DTM in February of '94, whatever it is, or he became a DTM in such and such a time. The word predestined, I like that word. That's a good word. Predestined is something that is has already been decided before time, predestined. No, it's already fate. The word kid, we hear this often when referring to children, which is slang, and it has its place. You have to be careful with it, where you're using it, or you're talking about with the children, But the kids, it's kind of, as I say, it's a little out of place sometimes. So be careful where you use the word kids. Can you listen to me? No, we're referring to the sound. You say, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Listen to me is to pay attention to me, okay? But can you hear me? We're referring to the sound.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the word marks, which is okay. We're talking about school. He had good marks, or he had good grades. It depends. It varies according to countries. The biggest mistake, and I'll repeat it every time I'm grammarian because I hear it every week, and that of the non-native English speakers putting an E before the S words. A start, a speaker. All right, leave the E off of the beginning of the S words in English.
Speakers, okay. Speakers.
Speaker, start.
Start.
Okay, tourism. I heard tourism. Tourism. The accent is on the first syllable. And let me see, sparse. Okay, tourism was almost off. No. What I think Alexandra meant to say was it was tourism back in those days was non-existent or sparse. Sparse means very little, very little. There wasn't much going on back in those days. Sparse. Catholic, no, Catholic. The accent is on the first syllable. When you're talking about the religion, Catholic. I heard the word pandemia. No, it's in English it's pandemic. In Spanish, we say the pandemia. And Toti, I think the pronunciation of the river is the Euphrates. Euphrates is the correct pronunciation in English, anyhow. Then I heard the word experts. No, experts. The accent is on the first syllable, experts. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Now I'm going to call the evaluators, and they're going to give the report of every speaker. And I would like to call the first evaluator, who is Carlos Millones.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters. I will divide my evaluation into two parts. The first one is going to be speech making, and the second one will deal with speech delivery. Speech making, I will refer to all the pre-work speaker does: research, preparation, some speech making, writing, taking notes, collecting information, and why he or she does it. That gives us an idea of the consideration he or she gives to the audience, the level of respect he or she has to the audience, which I think is very important if we regard this to the core values of Toastmasters, which is respect. So the level of preparation, I think, has been totally good, and the investment of time has been clearly fulfilled and shown. The introduction was prepared, was clear. The body of the speech was strong and she had defined arguments. The conclusion in the speech making has been a call to action as to planting seeds to see a brighter future, invest in people's preparation. So that's what I have to say regarding speech delivery, the use of transitions, good grammar, good pauses, and all that. And speech delivery, here we rely on our talents and our abilities. And I think that, personally speaking, I felt a little bit out of your vision reach. I think that probably looking into the camera more frequent times could have been even better. And then, in a way, I saw you were very comfortable, Alexandra. You were moving like you were talking to friends. I mean, you were adopting some postures and some gestures that were very natural. I would have liked to see or to hear, to listen to some different variations in the way you were speaking to add some emotion, just to get us in. So in your gestures, so I would challenge you, of course, to try these changes. You already have defined your leadership styles, yet you can consolidate more if you give that extra step, extra mile, so to consolidate your even better leadership styles. And I wouldn't like to forget and say this. You have a very clear and very nice smile. You should use it more often. It will add a great deal to your presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carlos. Now I would like to call our second evaluator, to our dear James Plunkett.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Doris, I enjoyed very much. I've heard this before, but every time I hear it, I learn more, and I like the way you presented it. The only thing I'd like to suggest is this. The opening. The opening has to give us more impact. Wake us up. For example, you say, well, I was born up in near Lake Titicaca in Puno and this and that. No. Start with, have you ever been to the highest navigable lake in the world? Have you ever been to Lake Titicaca or something like that? Propose a question, wake them up, get them interested. You made it very personal, which was good. I felt that you were really being very honest with us when you were telling us about your story, that you had your difficulties at school, but you overcame them. You finally found your path. You ended up with a very wonderful career in Russia. And I thought that was very good.
Ya no hay yucas. No. Pero hay dos papitas. Mañana, ¿qué vamos a comer?
You had good word pictures, and I could feel myself there in Moscow, and it was wonderful. I was following you all around, and it was very good. I liked that so much. You had a good humorous ending, which was important. The only suggestion I have is your presentation. When you're on Zoom, you have these big earphones and you have a speaker which puts out a light which looks green to me or something. And it's kind of distracting. You've got to do something about that if you're going to continue on the Zoom. You have to find a better way, find a better microphone or something. At least the earphones, as I say, are quite obvious. They're quite large. You might want to find something simpler when you have an opportunity, especially if you're going to continue giving speeches on Zoom. But otherwise, I thought it was a very good speech, and congratulations on a very good icebreaker.
Thank you, Jim. Now I would like to call to our third evaluator. I would like to call to Ernesto Pai.
Thank you, Elsa. Dear Toti, the purpose of the talk for you today was to present an informative speech for 5 to 7 minutes. You know, and the information should be presented in an interesting manner with clear organization. You should support the facts and with the statistics, quotes, and expert opinions. I think you did all that. Everyone was cultivated by your speech and the way you took us to the past in this imaginary travel that you can do with the pandemic. It was interesting the way you encourage people to investigate and to look at history and learn new things. It's very, very, very interesting. And I think you engage the audience with all this information. Maybe a little bit too many facts. I don't remember the numbers exactly and whatever, but it was very good. There are a couple of things which I would like you to practice in the opening and the closing. the opening, you started talking about the homework that was boring with your grandchild. I think if you are going to get us in the mood of hearing you, you have to eliminate the boring stuff. You know, you have to be optimistic. Use the word of the day. You have to be positive, and I would eliminate that part of the beginning, and then the closing. You know, the closing with such a strong phrase, the eye for an eye and the tooth for a tooth, which basically it is a lesson that you learn but you don't want to apply, could have been rounded up very with your opinion or your factual opinion maybe, and with a terrible way of thinking that the Sumerians had. All in all, I congratulate you very much because you are in the Zoom era. You are already digitally transformed. So it's a new Toti now. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ernesto. Thank you. Now, I would like to present to our general evaluator, to John Navarro.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, we're voting in this moment. I can see the screen now, just so that we can be in parallel in this activity as well. I would like to say a couple of things. I think that we had a very interesting and productive session today. And let me please try to refer to why this was the case. We began our session with a very, very nice tone. As usual, our president sets the tone for the whole environment of the meeting. Talking to all the members, welcoming the guests, playing with them, laughing with them. This is important because, you know, when you're a guest, you know, you don't know the members. You don't know if they will welcome you, if you should be silent, if you like it. So it's great that from the very start, our president sets the tone for the whole meeting, welcoming everybody. That's really great. He plays with them, he jokes with them. He's not very funny, but that's not a problem. That's not a problem. The important thing is to welcome everybody, make everybody involved and engaged. So that was great, Jim, as always. Thank you very much. Elsa, you did a great job as a Toastmaster. Thank you. It was really great. It was really great. You were always smiling at the beginning of the session and throughout the session. You were very organized in each of the steps. Did you notice, fellow Toastmasters, Elsa did her homework very well because she gathered the information from each of the people that she was going to introduce. So that's seriousness, as Carlos was saying too, the preparation before the activity. I did notice that I think at some point, Elsa, before calling the counter and the timer and the grammarian, we should still have had to listen to the evaluators. But that's something that can be corrected very easily. So that was great. I also noticed your very nice and punctual comments after each of the presentations. So that was great as well. Perfect. Vikram, thank you very much for a very original and well-conducted topic leading session. It was great not to alternate images and topic so that people can actually pay a lot of attention to what's being developed. You know, at some point, I wondered, what about the members? Why is Vikram not calling the actual members to participate? Then I noticed that all the members have a role today. It was only Soledad that you called that didn't have a role, and you called her as well. So that was great and allowed for many of our visitors, our guests to participate. That was great. Thank you very much, Vikram. It was also great that you encouraged each of the participants after their interventions. Our timer, Paolo, our counter, Norca, did a very thorough work, specific observations in each of the participants. Jim, our great grammarian, of course, Very nice that he congratulates the use of this word in particular, right? I mean, making people feel appreciated for their participation. I did notice, Jim, you know, just to say something, you did not notice the users of the word of the day, because I think there was no users of the word of the day, by the way. But anyway,
No.
you might have want to mention that as well, that we didn't use the word of the day. I will use it right now, okay? I feel optimistic, so I'm using the word of the day. Now,
John, would you excuse me for one moment? I agree with you. There's one important thing I'd like to call Ernesto's attention. He posted on the screen the votes for the best topic.
Right.
But down at the very bottom, it says enviar, to send.
Right.
But when you click on that, nothing happens. So I was wondering, because I didn't know if we're supposed to just turn off with the red X up on the top, or whether we're supposed to wait until he activates the NVR so we can send our vote.
Dear Jim, I think, if I may, did you scroll down the bar on the right side, friend?
Yes, yes.
Did you scroll? So you also voted for best evaluator. Don't vote for yourself, Jim. You voted for best evaluator?
Oh no, you're correct. That's
please,
my,
don't vote, Jim.
So you have to complete the complete voting?
That's right.
All right. I
Okay,
beg your
friend?
pardon. I beg your pardon.
It's okay. Hey, don't interrupt the master evaluator again, man.
I would never do that. I would never do that.
Please. Carlos, you made a great introduction of all of you guys made great introductions of your speakers. All of you referred to the project, the purposes, and made brief comments on the speaker. That was excellent. You even mentioned the time, so that's what has to be done. Interesting. Jim noticed that he shouldn't give much information about his speaker. And then he stopped, corrected himself, managed the situation in a very nice way. That's what a Toastmaster does. Thank you for that, Jim. Carlos, your evaluation, I think, was also a very good one. You always make this distinction between what is speech making and the actual delivery of it, and made this approach of, I think they call it sandwich or sandwich or pan con chancho or something like that, in which you mention the positive, then the observation, which is specific, and then close also on a high note. It was a very nice way to refer to your speaker. Jim, once again, your approach was very interesting, right? You congratulate on the learning, and you use the word learn, that you've heard the presentation before, but you can always learn, and that's really good. You also provided very specific advice on how to improve in the opening, and you noted the positive of the personal and the humorous ending, and that was really great. And also the very specific observation on the headphones and the microphone. That was great, because we need to give our speakers specific advice on how to do even better next time. And finally, Ernesto, again, began in a very humorous way too, no, explaining that his lemon pies are not as good as Elsa's desserts, already making a very nice entrance. I think that he wanted to interact a bit with the speaker even. That was great, but I think Totik didn't hear or couldn't actually turn on her microphone, but it was great. And again, mention the title, the project, the objectives, and the time. That was great. And in the evaluation in itself, and I'm about to finish now, ladies and gentlemen, he refers to the purpose of this speech in order to begin his evaluation. Now, this is important because we need to have some objective criteria in order to evaluate. I mean, what is the speech looking for? What are we aiming to? He establishes that, and from that, he explains that Totti did the job that was expected in this presentation. Again, using this approach, you mentioned something good, an observation, and then closing with something good. You mentioned the probably too many facts or something, so that she can know together with the better opening and a stronger closing, she can do better. So that's a specific advice to improve. And of course, closed with a very high note as well. So again, we have had a very nice environment from the start, a very carefully developed session and participants that have done their job at their best. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you, John. I'm happy because we really had a very positive and optimist meeting. Now, I would like to ask Ernesto Pai if he has the results of the voting or votation.
Yes. I have the final results, but there's something strange with the system because Mr. Plunkett has received 100 votes and there's not 100 people here. So there's something strange.
No,
Okay?
no, please, Jim.
Yes.
Jim, we talked about this. We talked about this, Jim.
I think his son is a computer expert and has done some kind of issue here. Okay.
I
No.
think he had changed.
The results of the speaker are for the best topic. The best topic is our guest from Curaçao, Roxien. Very good, Roxien. You know, for the best evaluator, even though Mr. Plunkett received 100 votes, he was eliminated from the contest. and the best speaker is best evaluator, excuse me, Mr. Carlos Millones. And the best speaker now comes directly from the Kremlin. Our new secretary, Doris Romero. Congratulations. Dear Elsa, if I may, just this is the last meeting of Mr. Jim Plunkett as president, and I want to thank him for a job well done throughout the year. He's put a lot of effort into it, and we are able to win the President Distinguished Award for the third time. So thank you, Jim, for a job well done throughout the year.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Jim.
Please.
You really did a good and great job. Yes.
Please
now,
open microphones to applaud Jim so he can listen. Please. Here, sorry, Jim. Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. You're the best. Honestly, you're the best. Thank you.
Now I would like to call to Mr. James Plunkett to close the meeting.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Another outstanding job today. A wonderful Toastmaster, a pleasure. And I hope we have the opportunity again real soon. I'd like to just reminisce on one particular point. Alexandra, there she is. Alexandra was talking to us, was telling us about the Olive Park in San Isidro, which goes back to the days of the Spaniards. And it reminded me of James Plunkett Jr., or the third we call him, because I'm junior and he's the third, poor guy. When he was 4 years old, we lived about 1.5 blocks from the old Olive Park. And we went over there with his brother, and I kind of fell asleep. It was such a lovely day. And when I woke up, he was gone, and he was only a little boy, and I got so frightened. So we went back to the house, and luckily, he got bored too and decided to go home on his own. And he made it across the Avenida Conquistadores to his apartment and frightened the devil out of his father. But that's the experience I had with the famous Olive Park. Well, listen, we had a very interesting meeting. We had 36 participants altogether from a variety of countries. It was a wonderful experience. Nobody used my word today, optimistics. So please, don't Don't get discouraged. Did you? Okay, wonderful. But the majority of it, you have to start using this word because it's very important, especially nowadays under the circumstances. So have a wonderful week, and it was good to see you all. And
Jim,
yes,
can I say something?
yes, please.
Yes, can you hear me? Yeah,
Very
okay.
well.
Yes, I didn't use the word, but I said positive. No, yes, I said positive when I said that the quarantine was bad,
Quarantine. Yeah.
but there was something positive or you said optimistic, no, the word of the
Yes.
day, but I said
Yeah.
positive. I forgot it was optimistic. Sorry.
That's
then,
okay.
yes,
Oh, that's Toti.
yes.
That's a synonym. In other words, it has basically the same meaning.
Yes.
You're optimistic about something, you're very positive about it, and that's what we have to be. So I encourage you all to be very positive this
Yeah.
week. Very
Yes.
optimistic,
Yes.
and
But
keep it up.
something more I want to tell you. Today I had very bad signal. I had to walk all over my house, and at the end I finished in the kitchen. And you know, in the kitchen, I always try to be in a quiet place that nobody bothers me.
Yeah.
But in the kitchen there is my cat. And did you hear my cat?
Yes.
Yes.
It was crying.
I heard something about meow or something.
Yes, yes, very bad.
I
And
think
you
it was
know,
counted by the ad counter. I think the ad counter noted it. It was included in your report.
Meow.
yeah, yes, you know, my cat is 24 years old. It's incredible. Is it something?
24 years old. What is the life expectancy of a cat?
17. And
Wow.
she's like a baby. Every 2 hours she has to eat, just like a baby. No, so sorry for that, for interrupting.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Did you get your
Yes.
problem straightened out with your new laptop or something, or what?
Well, I had problems with my laptop. I think it was very old. I had to change the disco duro, something like that, that I
Hard
don't
disk?
understand. See, hard disk. And well, this will be like next week.
Next time we will need a meow counter.
And yes, James, I have a word to say here.
Very good. Excellent.
And I have something to say, a simple word, simple sentence.
Please, Edmundo, yeah.
I am really optimistic that I will get table topics in your next meeting.
Oh, yeah. Yes, wonderful.
It is.
Okay, very good. All right, well, listen, everybody, have a very good week. The best to you, especially your health, and follow the rules. Keep your distancing, even though you get tempted sometimes, but it's worth the sacrifice. And we hope to see you all real soon. Vikram, thanks once again for honoring us with your presence and assuming a role in today's program. And oh, now listen, before I forget, very important, Norca. Today is the 25th of June. According to Toastmasters International, we are all considered. Oh, you can't hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Sole? Soledad?
Yes.
No?
We hear
Okay,
you.
anyhow.
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah.
All right, good. The 30th of the month is the last opportunity to pay your dues to be an active member in the club. It was extended from March 31st to June 30th. Right, Norca?
Yes, that's right. So we have.
About 11 of us paid on the 30th, before the 31st, and then a few new members came in. But this is our last opportunity for those who have not paid yet to be an active member and to be considered for any of the programs coming up. So please pay your dues if you haven't done so before the 30th of June, okay? Very good. Have a good week. See you next time.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Have a good week. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Thank you, Jenny.
Bye.
Great meeting.
Good. Very
Thank
good.
you. Thank you, Roseanne.
Carlos, are you on Facebook? I've sent some information for all of you where you can find me on Facebook or via my email address. I searched some of you on Facebook, but you have now my Facebook page, so feel free to add me as your friend so that we can keep communicating with each other. Okay?
Wonderful.
It'll be great.
Very good.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Roseanne. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye, guys.